Thanks to advancements in technology, we are gradually discovering more about the universe, one piece at a time. Especially those who have a strong interest in science have likely been exposed to a wide range of media through which they have accessed the latest scientific news and gained a wealth of scientific knowledge. So, for this session, I have prepared an opportunity for all of you to test your knowledge about the universe and see how much you know. Of the 87 facts about the universe that I will introduce today, how many do you think you already know? Checking them out will be meaningful for you to see how many you already know. As there is a lot to cover, we will proceed quickly, so please check them carefully. Our solar system officially has 181 moons. However, Mercury and Venus do not have a single moon among these. As a star approaches a black hole, it loses its light energy, resulting in a phenomenon called gravitational redshift. And as the star gets closer to the black hole, it will eventually be stretched and torn apart, resembling spaghetti, due to the immense tidal forces. Many people might think, oh, isn't Mercury the hottest? However, due to the thick gas layer in its atmosphere, Venus undergoes a powerful greenhouse effect, leading to a surface temperature as high as 462 degrees. Just as a reference, the average surface temperature of Mercury is surprisingly only about 179 degrees. More precisely, the age of the solar system is approximately 4.568 billion years. Furthermore, scientists estimate that in about 5 billion years, the Sun will evolve into a red giant star. The icy surface of Enceladus does not absorb sunlight but reflects most of it. As a result, the surface temperature of Enceladus can drop to about -200 degrees Celsius. The height of Olympus Mons, located on Mars, is about 25 kilometers, which is roughly 3 times higher than Mount Everest. Olympus Mons is not only tall but also has an expansive surface area, spanning approximately 300,000 square kilometers. The spiral-shaped M51 galaxy, also known as the Whirlpool Galaxy, was discovered quite a long time ago in 1773. New stars are still being born in the spiral arms of this galaxy. Light moves at a speed of about 300,000 kilometers per second. Hence, 1 light year is approximately 9,461,730,472,581.8 kilometers, the distance light can travel in 1 year. FYI, it is said that it would take about 450,000 years for humanity's spacecraft to reach the center of our galaxy. It's truly enormous, isn't it? Moreover, the Sun is about 109 times larger than the Earth and has a volume more than 1,300,000 times greater. FYI, the Sun comprises 99.85% of all the mass in our solar system. Hold on, why did the flag flutter if there is no wind on the Moon? The flag's movement was due to the impact it received when it was planted on the Moon. This difference is due to gravity. Scientists calculate and design materials and equipment considering this gravitational difference when sending spacecraft to Mars. Jupiter is the planet with the most satellites in our solar system. Indeed, Jupiter is also the planet with the largest satellite. This satellite is Ganymede, and its diameter is about 5,262 kilometers, making it larger than the planet Mercury. So, we might mistakenly think that Mars' year is a few days longer than Earth's. However, due to Mars' slower orbital speed, its year is actually 687 days, which is much longer than Earth's. On the Moon's surface, liquid water does not exist, but there is frozen water in areas near the lunar poles where sunlight doesn't reach. The Sun's rotational period is approximately 25 days at the equator and about 33 days near the poles. In fact, no one knows for certain how the name Earth was originally coined. The only thing we know for certain is that the name Earth is believed to have originated from an ancient word for ground, which was Edra. Tides on Earth happen due to the gravitational pull of the Moon and the Sun, which causes the ocean water to be pulled and creates tides. If you were to walk near Pluto's equator, it would be comparable to walking from Kentucky to Utah in the United States. White holes are hypothetical regions in spacetime where matter and light can escape from the inside, but nothing can enter from the outside. In simple terms, it can be described as the opposite concept of a black hole. Venus's surface contains over 1,600 volcanoes, including Mont Mons, which stands at a height of 8 kilometers. However, it is speculated that most of Venus' volcanoes are inactive and not currently erupting. Uranus's atmosphere is primarily composed of hydrogen, helium, and methane. Among these, methane absorbs all of the sun's red light but reflects blue light back into space. Gas planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are primarily composed of hydrogen and helium, with relatively small rocky cores in comparison to their size. Uranus has 5 large moons and 22 small moons. Among them, Titania is the largest moon with a diameter of approximately 1,578 kilometers, making it the 8th largest moon in the solar system. And due to its axial tilt of about 97.77 degrees, Uranus has a day that lasts only 17 hours, 14 minutes, and 24 seconds. This is called a retrograde orbit. Scientists do not have a precise explanation for why Triton orbits Neptune in a retrograde motion. Scientists believe that Triton will eventually be destroyed by Neptune's gravity. As a result, Neptune may eventually have more rings than Saturn. There are 10 times more stars in the night sky than grains of sand on Earth. It is estimated that there are about 70 sextillion, 700 sextillion, stars visible through telescopes. Pluto orbits the Sun at a very slow speed of 5.43 kilometers per second. This means that since its discovery in 1846, Pluto has completed only one orbit around the Sun. Charon and Pluto are always facing each other with the same side, and this is called mutual tidal locking. The International Space Station, which is 100 meters long, orbits at an altitude of about 400 kilometers above the Earth and is the third brightest object in the night sky. More precisely, a day on Pluto lasts about 6 days, 9 hours, and 17 minutes. Pluto's slow rotation speed is the reason why it has such a long day. The radius of Saturn is about 58,232 kilometers, which is 9 times that of Earth. However, due to its low density, Saturn's mass is only about 95 times that of Earth. The reason this is possible is due to the surface tension property of liquids, which tends to minimize the surface area. This phenomenon can occur not only in space but also in low Earth orbit. We have successfully mapped 100% of the surfaces of Mars and the Moon, but we have only managed to map 5% of the oceans. The universe is composed of 68% dark energy and 27% dark matter. Indeed, we cannot actually see these two components. This means we can only observe about 5% of the universe in reality. Photons emitted from the surface of the Sun take about 8 minutes and 20 seconds to travel through space and reach us. The reason for the Earth's rotational slowdown is due to the tidal effect of the Moon. This means that long ago, the Earth's rotational speed was faster than it is now. The boundary between space and Earth's atmosphere is ambiguous, but the Kármán line defines it at around 100 kilometers above sea level. The International Space Station orbits the Earth at a speed of approximately 27,600 kilometers per hour, which is equivalent to about 8 kilometers per second. Earth's atmosphere is continuously changing in density due to temperature fluctuations. So, when starlight passes through the atmosphere, it bends and gets refracted, allowing us to see the twinkling of stars. Coincidentally, the rotation period and revolution period of the Moon are the same. This is referred to as synchronous orbit. Our galaxy is classified as a spiral galaxy among these types. The galaxies are Andromeda, M31, Large Magellanic Cloud, LMC, and Small Magellanic Cloud, NGC 292. Before the discovery of the Andromeda Galaxy, the Large Magellanic Cloud was considered to be the closest galaxy. This supernova is located in the Andromeda Galaxy, and it is also known as S Andromeda. As the name suggests, this supernova was first discovered in the year 1885. This black hole is located at the center of the Virgo Galaxy, approximately 55 million light-years away from Earth, and its diameter is about 38 billion kilometers. FYI, the diameter of Earth is approximately 12,742 kilometers. 1 astronomical unit, AU, equals 149.6 million kilometers. The astronomical unit is based on the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Venus is a very hot planet with an atmosphere full of sulfuric acid. So, the metallic substances on the surface of Venus evaporate into the atmosphere, then condense and become heavier, eventually falling back to the ground. Mariner 10 was launched by NASA from the Kennedy Space Center in 1973. And 1 year later, in 1974, Mariner 10 successfully passed through Mercury's orbit and became the first spacecraft to capture images of Mercury's surface. In space, there is no air to carry sound, which is why the universe is silent. That's why in space, even if you shout right next to someone, they won't be able to hear you. FYI, the first food consumed by astronauts in space was applesauce, and the person who first consumed it was John Glenn, the astronaut on board the Mercury Atlas 6 mission in 1962. In the microgravity environment of space, the disks between astronauts' vertebrae can expand slightly, leading to an increase in height. However, when they return to Earth, they will return to their original height. The Kuiper Belt is primarily composed of icy objects, and Pluto orbits the Sun near this region. She went into space on June 16, 1963, during the Vostok 6 mission. The mission lasted for about 3 days, and before returning to Earth, she orbited the Earth 48 times. Scientists have published over 15,000 papers using data from the Hubble Space Telescope. And these papers have been cited 738,000 times in other research papers. The Sputnik satellite was launched by the Soviet Union on October 4, 1957. Scientists have discovered a large amount of ethyl formate in the gas clouds at the center of the galaxy. One of the characteristics of this chemical compound is that it emits a fruity aroma. Scientists believe that eventually the Moon will drift away from the Earth and be separated from it. However, such an event is expected to occur billions of years from now. Pluto is the Roman god who rules over death, equivalent to the Greek god Hades in mythology. Pluto was named by an 11-year-old British schoolgirl named Venetia Burney when it was first discovered. In the night sky, the International Space Station, ISS, appears like a fast-moving star, gliding from one horizon to the other. Saturn is the second largest planet in our solar system, but it is also the lightest in terms of density compared to its size. Additionally, Saturn is mostly composed of gas, and its low density allows it to float on water. But, of course, that's only if there were water in a container big enough to accommodate Saturn. The formation of Jupiter in our solar system prevented the formation of a planet between Mars and Jupiter. As a result, the small objects in this region collided with each other, breaking apart and becoming even smaller. On Earth, gravity causes the separation of air and food in our digestive system. However, in space, the weak gravity prevents the separation of air and food in the digestive system, so astronauts cannot burp. The name George's star was given to honor King George III, the patron of the person who discovered Uranus. The name Uranus was proposed 1 year after the discovery of Uranus in 1782, but it was not widely used until 1850. The atmosphere of Mars is very thin and filled with fine dust particles. So, shorter wavelengths, such as blue light, can penetrate Mars' atmosphere more effectively than longer wavelengths, like red light. Also, like other planets, the Moon's gravity varies depending on the location. Leica, a stray dog, was sent to space aboard the Soviet spacecraft Sputnik 2 on November 3, 1957. Unfortunately, Leica died a few hours into her journey to space due to high temperatures and stress. The word astronaut is derived from the Greek words astron meaning star and nauts meaning sailor or ship's crew. That's why the word astronaut literally means star sailor. More precisely, it can be said that Mercury has a very thin atmosphere, almost negligible. Mercury only has an extremely thin exosphere created by solar wind and meteoroid impacts. Red dwarf stars are small, cool stars in later life stages with surface temperatures around 3,500 degrees Celsius. However, in 1965, it was newly discovered that Mercury undergoes 3 rotations for every 2 orbits around the Sun. The Great Red Spot on Jupiter is a massive swirling storm, 3 times larger than Earth. The Great Red Spot on Jupiter is gradually shrinking and has recently reduced to about twice the size of Earth. Scientists speculate that the changes in the position and direction of Jupiter's jet streams may be related to the shrinking of the Great Red Spot. Many potentially hazardous asteroids are diverted by Jupiter's gravity, changing their orbits and reducing the risk to Earth. While Jupiter can be helpful to us, sometimes it can also draw asteroids inward toward the inner solar system, posing risks to Earth. The reason is that Mercury's rotation speed is much slower compared to Earth. In general, pens operate by using gravity to pull the ink downwards. However, in space where there is no gravity, the ink would not flow downwards. Therefore, astronauts use specially designed pens that can write in the microgravity environment of space. The distance between the Earth and the Moon is only 384,400 kilometers. Among the 88 constellations, 67 of them are visible from South Korea. Also, the envelope covering the nucleus of a comet, similar to a cloud, is called the coma. And the stream of dust and other materials flowing behind a comet is called the tail. One of the reasons for this reclassification is that Pluto does not gravitationally dominate its surrounding celestial neighborhood. Dwarf planets include Ceres, Makemake, Haumea, Eris, and Pluto. Among them, Ceres is the only dwarf planet located in the asteroid belt, while the rest are all located outside the solar system. That's why scientists are investing the most significant resources into exploring Mars among all the planets in our solar system. The most famous comet Halley was last observed on February 9, 1986. This comet visits Earth approximately every 75 to 76 years in its orbit. Despite being only half the size of Earth, the planet 55 Cancri is remarkably 8 times more massive. Scientists indeed speculate that the surface of 55 Cancri may be composed of graphite and diamonds. In terms of the closest proximity, Venus is undoubtedly the closest. However, considering the positional changes of the planets, the planet closest to Earth in terms of average distance is Mercury. How much of the information presented today did you already know? It's okay if you didn't know most of them. Through this video, I hope you gained a lot of new knowledge about the universe that you didn't know until now.